Have you ever truly paused and asked yourself, why do so many dream, yet so few ever reach what they desire? Some may blame fate, or chance, or circumstance, but I've come to believe the greatest obstacle doesn't lie out there in the world, it lies within, in our minds, in our hearts. I've always said, if your mind can conceive it, and your heart can believe it, then your hands can achieve it. But here's what most people overlook. Who you become tomorrow is shaped entirely by the choices you make today. Are you prepared to face that truth? Years ago, I discovered a quiet but powerful reality. Every human triumph begins as a simple idea. I'm not saying this because I read it in some forgotten book. I've witnessed it over and over in every conversation I've had with the truly successful. There's a secret champions live by. You must think, believe, and act like one long before the world recognizes you as such. Because there is no victory without first believing. It already belongs to you. This, at its core, is what I call mental rehearsal. I once had the privilege of interviewing a man whose name still lights the pages of history, Thomas Edison. He told me something I've never forgotten. Before a light bulb ever lit up the world, it lit up in my mind again and again. I saw it. I felt its heat. I heard the sizzle of the filament long before the world ever did. And that ability to imagine is not childish fantasy. It's the trait that separates wishful thinkers from determined achievers. How many times have you quietly whispered to yourself, maybe this isn't for me, maybe I'm not meant for more? How often have you doubted your worth, your path, your voice, wondering if you could ever build a life that would make your parents proud, that would serve as a beacon for your children? Most people don't know this. Your brain does not distinguish between reality and deeply imagined experience. When you close your eyes and feel the life you long to live its colors, its sounds, its scents, you begin to carve a neurological path, a trail. Walk that trail often enough and it becomes a road, then a highway, and soon reality begins to align with vision. I practiced this relentlessly when I was young, broke, unknown, but burning with the question, how do the world's most powerful minds think? Everyone around me said it was impossible, but every morning, before I even opened my eyes, I visualized myself sitting across from titans of industry. I saw their faces, heard their words. I practiced my questions, felt my confidence, and the day I finally sat across from Andrew Carnegie, I felt no fear. It was as though I'd done it 100 times before, because in a way, I had. Now, I won't pretend this erases all fear overnight, but it does allow you to take a step forward, even while your knees tremble. Picture what you want with the precision of a sculptor staring into uncut marble, and act as if it already belongs to you, because when you do, your body changes, your posture rises, your voice sharpens with quiet certainty, and the people around you sense it. Even subconsciously, they begin to treat you as though you've already arrived, and that mutual perception creates a space where success no longer feels distant, it feels inevitable. Think of Roger Bannister. Before he broke the 4-minute mile, he broke it in his mind countless times. He didn't just run the race, he won it internally. And when you commit to the same mental discipline, something extraordinary happens. That fragile dream becomes action, action becomes habit, and habit becomes destiny. But maybe you're thinking, what if I fail? What if I look foolish? Let me tell you this, every person who ever did something great stood at that very same crossroads. I was terrified. I feared being seen as an imposter, just a journalist daring to question giants. But I learned a hard, beautiful truth. The world does not reward those who wait to feel ready. It rewards those who begin, even with trembling hands and a racing heart. So tomorrow morning, don't dwell on what you lack. Close your eyes and see the version of yourself you're destined to become. Watch how you walk, speak, decide. Feel the satisfaction of already having become that person, as if it were the final day of your life. Dress for the opportunity of a lifetime. Speak with the conviction of one who knows that the universe bends in favor of those brave enough to act. This isn't about pretending. It's about preparing, training your soul, your speech, your body to align with the person you were born to be. Your dreams may feel distant, but when you carry yourself like a champion before the victory, you send a signal to the world and to yourself that you are already worthy of the win. I've seen too many gifted souls carrying enormous dreams only to betray themselves in their words. They speak of greatness like it's an apology. Who am I to try this? I hope it works. Let me tell you, your words are the bricks of your future. Each phrase of uncertainty builds a wall around your potential. Each statement of belief lays down a road toward it. I felt this in my own bones the day I stood before one of the most powerful industrialists of the century. He looked at me, straight and cold, and said, "I don't have time for people who don't know what they want." In that instant, I understood the world does not pause for the hesitant. From that moment on, I vowed I will never speak like a man asking for permission. I will speak like one who has a rightful place at the table. Winston Churchill knew this. At the darkest hour of the war, he didn't whisper faint hopes. He declared, "We will never surrender." That wasn't rhetoric. It was a command aimed at both the nation and the universe. Such is the power of language. It shapes reality. In the image of the one who dares to speak it dots. Now I ask you, how often do you say "I think," "I hope," or "I'll try"? And what usually follows? These words are seeds. What they grow depends entirely on which ones you choose. But when you shift from "I think" to "I know," the entire terrain changes. Doors creak open. Light enters places that once seemed sealed. I experienced this myself. For years, I carried a notebook not just for ideas, but for declarations. I wrote things like, "My words change lives. I am a voice that matters." I spoke them aloud not for the world's sake, but for my own rewiring. At first, it felt silly. Then one day, I realized my actions had begun to mirror my affirmations. You must understand, language is not just communication, it is construction, not just for others, but for yourself. When challenges arise, what's your first inner phrase? "There's always a way," or "Maybe this is too hard." The answer shapes far more than you realize. The mind seeks to prove whatever it's told. Tell it something strong. Here's my challenge to you. For 1 week, monitor your words, especially about your goals. Every time you say, "I hope," or "I'm trying," stop. Replace them with "I will," "I've decided." Notice the shift not only in energy, but in momentum. When I was writing my first major book, there was no publisher, no funding, no support. But each day, I told myself, this book already exists. The world just hasn't found it yet. I said, it was certainty, day after day. That confidence lit the fire that wouldn't let me quit even when money ran out and friends raised their doubts. This is not arrogance. It is alignment. Alignment between the mind, the voice, and the vision. So choose your words like you're casting spells, because in a very real way, you are. Words either build bridges over the chasms of doubt or walls that keep you trapped inside them. Speak as though every sentence is a promise to the universe, because it is. The fear of failure is like a shadow that trails behind your every step toward your desire. I know this because I have felt it many times, this tightening in the chest that whispers, what if it doesn't work out? What if everyone sees you're not as capable as they think? This fear, although it feels so real, is a veil hiding the true power that exists within each of us. Abraham Lincoln understood this like few others. Just imagine he went bankrupt in business, suffered political defeats, lost the love of his life, and faced health crises that would have broken any other person. But he never allowed these failures to become his final destiny. I remember a time in my life when I'd have felt that shadow close. There was an opportunity to work side by side with powerful business leaders, and even after many years of studying success, I doubted myself. Voices inside me said, "You don't have their experience. You're not ready." But instead of listening to those voices, I asked myself a simple question. What would I do if I already knew my success was guaranteed? And in answering that question, I realized I had to walk forward with the dignity and conviction of a person who already belongs to the future they desire. When you face an obstacle, the fear of failure creates the illusion that any small mistake could ruin everything. But I want you to understand something crucial. Every failure, every misstep carries within it a hidden gift, a lesson, a correction, a chance to strengthen your courage. For years, I encountered closed doors and opportunities that seemed lost forever. But each of those situations showed me that the difference between the one who succeeds and the one who gives up is not in the size of the fall, but in how we rise afterward. When you begin to act as though victory is already predetermined, the fear of failure loses its grip. That doesn't mean the hardships disappear. It means you stop seeing them as enemies and start treating them as stepping stones. Abraham Lincoln would not have become president if he had taken every verdict of defeat as a final sentence. He understood that failure was not the end, but an essential part of the path to greatness. I see so many people today waiting for a sign that it's safe to try, waiting for fear to completely disappear before they take the first step. But I can tell you with absolute certainty, gained over the years. Fear never disappears completely. What changes is your decision to move forward despite it. When you act like someone already certain of victory, your mind begins to see opportunities where it once saw only obstacles. This is not just a philosophy, this is a daily practice. I learned to use the right words not just to motivate others, but to reprogram myself. When I felt paralyzed, I repeated to myself, I am capable, I am worthy, every failure teaches me, every challenge makes me stronger. These words, spoken with conviction, reminded me that failure was not the enemy. The real enemy was allowing it to define me. And if you're asking yourself whether this is truly possible for you, I want you to think again about the example of Abraham Lincoln. Imagine his pain after losing 8 elections, watching his business collapse, his health deteriorate. But he chose not to listen to the chorus of voices saying, "You failed." He acted as though each failure was just a rehearsal for his ultimate triumph. When you begin to look at each obstacle that way, something extraordinary happens. The energy that once fueled your fear begins to fuel your courage. Doors that once seemed locked begin to crack open. People around you notice this shift, as if you carry in your eyes a confidence that this is all just a temporary stage, and that victory is already here just waiting for you to claim it. Tomorrow, when you wake up, ask yourself, what would I do today if I knew beyond any doubt that I am destined to win? And then do exactly that. Maybe it will be a small step, maybe a giant leap, but every move made with that conviction is another brick in the bridge that leads to your destiny. And even when the shadow of fear looms again, remember, it only exists because you are moving towards something great. Life is not built from grand, heroic gestures that appear suddenly, but from the small rituals we repeat every day. Almost INVISIBLY in my journey, I discovered that these everyday habits, so simple that many ignore them, silently shape our destiny. I saw this clearly in the example of Vince Lombardi. He turned a discredited team into champions because he understood that before you raise the trophy, you must train the mind and body to act like champions every day, in every detail. I applied this in my own life. During the time I was writing my most important words every single day, without exception, I started early. I dressed impeccably, even if no one saw me, and I laid out each paper and pen as if I were preparing to receive a president. This daily ritual reminded me that I wasn't just writing a book, I was creating a legacy, as if every little gesture confirmed to me, I am worthy of this work. I am capable of finishing it. These practices may seem minor at first, but they hold hidden power. They tell your mind that you already belong at the level you are striving for. Have you ever noticed how carelessness creeps in during moments of doubt? How the mess around us often reflects the confusion inside us? I have always believed that our surroundings are a mirror of our mind. When you organize your workspace as if you already are the leader you want to become, something inside you changes. It's not just about appearance, it's about how you feel. And that shift in feeling begins to attract opportunities that once seemed out of reach. You might think this is just pretending, but it's not. It's training, it's discipline. It's a message to your subconscious every morning. When you start your day with intention and care, you send a signal, I am ready. And the world responds to that signal. People notice it, even if they don't know why. They feel the confidence in your voice, the light in your eyes, and when you begin to believe it, they begin to believe it too. So remember, the key is not in pretending, but in training your mind and body to become the version of yourself you were always meant to be. Act like the champion you already are, even before the trophy is in your hands. That is the most powerful signal you can send to the universe. Thank you for your time. In the next video that will appear on screen, you will rise one more step on the ladder of your wisdom to become an even better version of yourself. I'll be waiting for you there.